It's Franco from Thursdays with Franco, and this time we're doing a deep dive session with Stuart Coggins. Hey, Stuart.
Hi Franco, how are you?
Good. Hey, now, the reason we're catching up with this deep dive session, you've told me from a recent engagement, you heard a customer problem and you went from customer problem to running proof of concept without doing any real coding. You purely used AI to go from problem to having something running and then getting feedback about where to go next.
Yep, absolutely. All with AI, just with I think I'm only going to use two prompts, maybe two prompts.
I actually don't believe it. And
Of course you
and
don't.
and that's why I wanted to record this session and see it in action and see if I can embarrass you.
Yeah, well, it's AI, so it may not work.
Okay.
I have all faith.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
let
So
me
what's
quickly.
what's the scenario? What's the problem statement?
So what I'm going to do is we had a customer. They've got they're running their purchase orders through Excel. I mean, who doesn't do that? So they're running purchase orders. They have a problem where they get quotes in. There's someone has to type them in from the emails that come in from the PDF documents. They type them all into Excel. They get an approval and they turn that into a purchase order, and then they load that purchase order into e-business suite. So it was actually
Okay.
an Oracle eBiz customer. So they said we want to use Apex as an example to manage the quotes, the purchase orders, and get those. Now, obviously, we can do things like invoices. So what we said was, well, let's have a look at that scenario, see what we can come up with.
Okay. Well, let's share your screen and let's see how you are going to get started and
Oh,
introduce the tech to me.
okay, so firstly, I'm going to use Claude.ai. I will emphasize here that we could use any AI tool. Claude just happens to be quite a one of the useful tools that we have that will connect to the Oracle Database MCP server. So I've got the MCP server up and running. So if I do connect to Apex Stew, what it should do is connect to my database. So this is using Oracle Database MCP. Oh, of course, it's failed to connect. Uh, just bear with me
Let's see
one
what
sec.
happens. This is the real world, right?
It's going to tell me what connections are available. So I have to give it permission to do so.
Okay, so it's worked something out there itself.
Yep. So what it's done is it's decided that I was wanting to connect to Apex Stew, but I actually called it the fort is our internal tenancy. So it's decided that that's the one it wants to go. So now it's connected.
So just to pick up there, because you used Apex Stew, it was smart enough to realize, hey, I'm going to go back, list the connections, and even though you asked for Apex Stew, there's another one called 423 AI Apex Stew. Oh,
Yeah.
they're all the connect. And so it did its best endeavors to give you what it think you were asking for.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool.
So now I'm connected. So what would you
Okay.
like to do with the database? Now I won't bother doing some of the MCP tools because people can experiment with that themselves. But why don't we just get straight into it
Yeah.
and build a prompt? So save me typing. Here's one I prepared earlier. So I want to create a data set for a proof of concept for procurement, office supplies, IT supplies. I need quotes from suppliers, quotes approved. When approved, it creates a purchase order, and I'll need to receive invoices and record the paid state. What I've said here is I want the tables to be prefixed with PR, just so they don't overwrite anything in my existing database. So this is
Okay.
going to take a while, but let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Ready?
Now I can see you've put actually a lot of effort in creating a prompt that is relevant and very targeted. And obviously, it's using the language model experience from, eons. Now it's giving you something that's totally relevant with what's there. Suppliers, categories, quotes, requests, approvals. That's impressive.
So it's decided what tables what data model I need to be able to do this.
Yeah,
So again, I could sit here and build a data model, but hey, when you can type in a prompt and get that for you. So as an example, let me show you what it's doing. So it's just checking there are tables, um, and it's
that's
running a
interesting. Yeah.
create table, quote approvals. So you can see it's busy here creating tables.
And it looked like it had a drop table in there as well in case it was already there.
Yeah, now that's where the danger of MCP comes in because you probably don't want it to do that. Now I know that I don't have any of these. I mean, these are the dangers and the perils of MCP. And this is what people should be aware of is that, MCP will do exactly what you tell it. It probably won't do any more, although this one has, but it's certainly not going to do so. It is actually, I think I've enabled allow all in this session. Normally, it will come and ask me for every SQL. They'll say, do you want to run this? Do you want to run this? Do you want to run this? I do encourage people to do that. I'm running this in an empty schema, so I'm okay with what it's doing. The other thing it's doing, by the way, it's creating sample data for us.
That is impressive. So not only is it doing the old-fashioned DDL, and I've got a feeling it will have all your foreign keys
Yeah,
and indexes and all of that stuff there for you. And now it's doing sample data as well.
yeah, exactly right. So, like I say, it's pretty much creating an entire demo set for you. And the question will be at the end, does it create any visualization? So I'll leave that to the end as we may have an extra prompt that we push in. But yeah, it's just creating sample data for us now.
I think you're teasing me. Okay, so now we've got useful views to visualize the procurement workflow. Cool.
Just keeps going. It's quite impressive. It really is. By the way, we launched Oracle Code Assist today.
Yeah,
It went GA, so we'll give this a go on Oracle Code Assist and see how that works. But again, very similar process one.
it sounds like another deep dive session in the future.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, people use different tools. The reason I'm using Claude is a lot of people are using that right now. Um, I love the way it says perfect and excellent, like it's done such a good job. It's congratulating itself.
And what you've got installed on your computer, this is installed on your laptop, and you've set up the appropriate access to your OCI environment.
So two things I've done. One is I've got Visual Studio Code connected to my database, which is where it gets those connections from. So it's using SQL CL as the connections for the MCP, and then I'm using Claude Desktop.
Right.
So here you go. So it's finished, but now it's creating a document for me to describe what it did.
That's cool.
Ooh, there we go. Slow down a bit there.
That's great documentation, isn't it?
I just click continue there because sometimes it runs out of space in its message. So then
So you got your for each table, it gives you a one-line description, what the fields or columns are, and then some details around um, the validation,
yeah,
etc.
and some example queries.
Oh,
So for
isn't
those of
that?
you that are into low code,
Yeah.
it's giving us the queries.
And it's probably giving you a bit of education around practices and ideas. I mean, most of us who build apps see test data as a pain in the butt, whereas this gives it to you and then helps you understand it. That's pretty
So
good.
by the way, it's remembered that I like Apex. So it's now saying you can build Apex on top of this. So it's actually said that. But what I might do, just in the interest, because that was a lot quicker than I was expecting. So what I'm
Yeah.
going to do is create a vendor performance dashboard. I didn't say what to put on it.
Yeah. No, you didn't. So it's going to work out from its years of history what a vendor performance dashboard looks like.
Yeah. So it'll pick on specific KPIs, delivery performance and all those sorts of things, I assume.
And because you were, I'll say, horizontal in your procurement problem statement, it'll give you something that'll be across industry. But you could easily say, give me a procurement dashboard for healthcare or procurement dashboard for higher education.
Absolutely. And in fact, if I was doing a demo for a specific customer, that's exactly what I would do. Is I wouldn't use names, but I would definitely go to that industry or that particular problem statement.
Now let
But
me
I
create.
think if you sort of think about what this is doing and how this is doing it, it sometimes you get a bit of a brain freeze on terms of trying to build things and what do I need and what data fields do I need. This is I almost want to say it's a lazy way, but it actually isn't lazy because it's seeding. Um, you know, it's actually seeding the ideas and building something that you can then build on. So if you
Yeah,
wanted to turn a simple demo into an actual POC or even a production app, I guess. I mean, you'd want to work on security and things. So this is interesting. This looks like it's now building a React app, which I didn't say build it in React, by the way. So I guess you could choose choose your poison, as it were, if you want to use just HTML or something. So, um,
but it's giving
so
you what you've asked for in the vendor performance
yeah, yeah.
dashboard.
Ooh, hang on, hasn't finished yet. That's why there was an error. Keep going. There you go. I hadn't finished. So it runs out of space in its buffer. That's what it looks like. I guess I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Here we go. So it's got to the footer, and
There's your vendor performance dashboard.
so it's building a guide now as to what it's done. It did quickly show the dashboard.
Yeah, I saw it.
So, so once it's finished, well, I'll let it finish.
Yeah. And that's from that one prompt.
Yeah, technically two, because the first one was just build the data model. The second one was build a vendor performance dashboard.
How crazy.
Look how much it creates. I mean, would you build this much this quickly in reality?
No.
I
And
don't. I don't think you would.
the thing which is impressive is it's giving you a destination or a display home approach that you can see and touch to validate what you want. Whether you use this or not, it's actually a really fast approach to actually validating things.
I mean, even if you only use it to create the data model and
Yeah,
the data, that's still saving hours of work. I mean,
yeah,
especially the way we operate. I mean, you and I both have Python codes and CSVs and all sorts going on.
yeah,
So that's finished. So let's go have a quick look at the vendor performance dashboard it created.
yeah.
So there you go. It's created us a nice dashboard
With sample data.
with the sample data. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And if I want, I can see the code.
yeah,
So I can just so I can copy the code and go and host that somewhere. So again, I could download that. It's obviously TypeScript. I think that's what that is. So I won't. But how about we do what it says and see if we can get Apex to build something on top of it,
That's a great idea. Great
just with a
idea.
prompt. I'm going to
Yeah.
stop sharing for a second.
Yeah.
Just bear with me 1 sec. I'll just switch screens. Okay. So now I'm in Apex. You can see my Apex screen. I know you're going to complain about the size. So there we go. It wouldn't be Thursdays with Franco without that. So again, you should see. Actually, I'll just quickly show you.
There are the tables there.
There are the tables, yeah, with the data in them as well. So you can see all of those in your database. So one thing we need to do, because of the way that I'm going to use the GenAI builder, I'm just going to refresh the cache. Okay, so we've refreshed the dictionary cache. That will just let AI know that we've got some new tables. So what I'll do is I'll go to App Builder, and instead of using the usual create application, we're going to use the create app using GenAI. I promised we wouldn't do any coding. So let's build an app together. Let's do that.
Cool. Now you're using the data model that has been created. Another thing I know you showed me is you could have actually built the data model from inside Apex too. There's that.
Yeah, I could have done what I just did with Claude inside. The reason I did it in Claude was because I quite like the fact it builds HTML. So if you want to just do that bit and then focus just on that sort of visualization, you can. Yeah. But this now gives us a working application that we can get. So I probably could go and add a few more things in here, but I think that's enough for now.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll just create the application. I didn't want to do too much and to embellish too much, but you could.
Yeah.
So here we go. Let's leave all the defaults as they are. I just need to make sure the schema was correct. English, yeah. So all good. Create application. So if you imagine what we did in Thursdays with Franco, link in the corner, when we first set up a very simple app with Chris a few weeks ago, this is now doing that on another level where we've got an entire data set ready with data to build from scratch.
That's great.
And I'd just like to remind you what you said before about not being able to build the whole thing with AI. But anyway.
The thing which I will say is I think you still need to know, you still need to have an idea of what you're doing and an idea of what's possible with technology, don't you?
I think so. I think you could do something, but firstly, when things go a bit awry, I think you need some knowledge there to be able to go do this. If you wanted to build this properly, you'd probably want more security. You'd want to do APIs, that sort of thing. Now, Claude did offer some of those things in its prompts. I've declined them, but essentially, you probably would and should. Like, this is just a seed app. If I run this now with absolutely no coding whatsoever, I've now got all my procurement data. I mean, I don't know what else you want from the system, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's done my drop downs for me. It'd be interesting. It didn't do the dashboard, which is quite interesting. It didn't do the.
It said it was, yeah.
Yeah, it said it was on the list, but it didn't do it. So again, maybe I wasn't descriptive enough about what I want from a dashboard. So, there you go. That one it didn't work on. So it's not infallible, but it's pretty good, right? I mean, look at this. You know, I think it's pretty good. So that's the 0 to a working Apex app, mostly working Apex app in wherever that took us, 20 minutes or something. I just want to quickly touch on, Franco, the one I did yesterday, which obviously was a precursor to doing this one so we could practice. But I took this a stage further. I took the Apex app that I built yesterday and I took the code from Claude. In fact, I asked Claude to generate Apex friendly code, and it gave me all the instructions to build. Now, this is Apex. So, I know it doesn't look like Apex, but this is the similar data for a query for a vendor performance dashboard.
And you got the CSS code and the instructions from AI to
Yeah,
help you improve. Um,
yeah. It told me everywhere to insert the CSS, and it also recreated the SQL so that it
yeah,
had these codings with the yellow badge for medium and green. It generated all the CSS as part of the SQL for that. So it went back through the SQL and recreated it so I could use it in Apex. So
that's great.
again, you're right. That's where you need to know a little bit of code, because I then went back into Apex and inserted that code.
And you're building an app. I like some of those little things underneath: success, concentration, performance. It's actually giving you things that a best practice procurement system would hope would pick up.
And you'd probably add your own AI to this with your own rules, your own
Yeah.
KPIs that you could set into the app. So that, again, if you think about selling this inside a business, and I'm not talking about Oracle selling, I'm talking about as if you're running, IT, or you're an architect, and you're trying to sell the value of a project inside the
Yeah.
business. I mean, how cool is this?
Yeah. That is
If
very cool.
we've just done that in 20 minutes, imagine what you could do in a day or two
Yeah.
around an actual use case. I mean, we just made that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
Stu, thank you very much for this today. I'm going to think of a few more. You've inspired me to think of a few more. We could actually go from zero to some sort of demo, and record it as a jam session, cloud jam session with AI.
definitely, definitely good luck, because it's a lot of fun.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.